Hello and welcome into the Sporting JAX Report along with Mauricio Ruiz. I'm Cole Pepper, and do we have some soccer to talk about today? U.S. men's national team, cup sets in the U.S. Open Cup, USL Championship. It just goes on and on and on. But we want to start by inviting you to become a member of Sporting JAX. Just go to sportingjax.com to sign up. It's absolutely free. You'll get discounts on Sporting JAX official club merchandise, an invitation to attend exclusive insider events, automatic entry into competitions for chances to win great prizes and experiences. Plus, you'll get the Sporting JAX monthly email newsletter. While there, you can also place a deposit on season tickets and receive first access to seats and a special limited edition Sporting JAX founding member pin. Just go to sportingjax.com. All right, let's start, Mauricio, with the U.S. men's national team playing in the Nations League Cup and beating Mexico, another 2-0 for the United States against Mexico. One of the better performances we've seen out of the U.S. In this World Cup period here. I thought they showed a lot against Mexico.
They did, and I think coming off of the Jamaica game where we talked, how Jamaica just kind of played a really low line, hard to break down. Mexico, they're going to come at you. They're going to play, probably had the crowd going in their favor playing in Texas. But the U.S. today, they can run with anybody. And they have good enough players that are playing at a good enough level, even if they're not getting high minutes. You talk about Gio Reyna, Tyler Adams just coming back, even our goalkeeper situation is a little bit weird with Turner, but the team just looks different with Tyler Adams. I know he only played 45, 30, the game before, but he just brings that energy to that team. They just look different.
Not necessarily a goal scorer by trade, but he did do this, getting his second goal for the U.S. to give the United States a 1-0 lead just before halftime. And in the second half, Christian Pulisic trying to create something. It comes to the foot of Gio Reyna. What a tournament he had. 2-0 United States, and that's how it ends. What did we learn going forward now about the United States, the players on this roster, and how Greg Berhalter is going to manage things?
So there's a lot of consistency to the roster when you think about where Pulisic and Tim Ware are playing, and really the back line with Tim Ream, and we're always talking about who's going to be his partner. It's Chris Richards. He's playing really well for Crystal Palace, and then you have Anthony Robinson and Sergiño Dest. It's really more what the midfield look like when Adams comes back, and how do you add Reyna to that? If this game showed anything, is that Reyna almost deserves a free role play, but he can play almost as a number 8 as well, and he did a little bit deeper because he can come and get the ball. There's depth, and I don't know what he's gonna. When everyone's healthy and available, I don't know what it's gonna look like. But to me, what this tournament showed in a really short window here, is there's depth to this team that they're not dependent on just if Pulisic is out, it's okay. If Tim Wale's out, it's okay. If Reyna's not playing well because they can't unlock the game, there are options. So I think he's really pleased with how the team and the depth of it is forming in this last cycle.
You mentioned the win over Jamaica that was a little more of a grinder. We had a lot of folks out at Island Wing Company to watch that as part of one of our watch parties on Thursday. Great showing there, including the American Outlaws. The All-Navy soccer team was there as well. Great night and a thriller of a match to watch. We'll have more announcements about our watch parties for other U.S. soccer and other soccer matches in general going forward here this spring and summer. Let's now get to the U.S. Open Cup. Probably as much attention paid right now to the U.S. Open Cup as it has been in years because of the way U.S. soccer and Major League Soccer have been kind of battling over it. But boy, you always get the cup sets. And there were 3 big ones to talk about. One is Miami United out of the NPSL beating Chattanooga from MLS Next Pro. You had Vermont Green, a USL 2 team, beating Lexington SC, a USL 1 team, 4-3 in a wild one. And then El Farolito beating Portland Timbers 2, a team named for a burrito joint, beats Portland Timbers 2 out of MLS Next Pro. If this is the way the U.S. Open Cup is going to go, with a lot of these 2s and Bs in there for MLS teams, sign me up for it because this was some exciting soccer in the opening weekend.
Yeah, it brings excitement when you see results like this and you see the little guys technically beating on the higher level teams. If you're one of the little guys that's still remaining in there, you're not kind of getting powered by it, and you're really going to come out. And they can still sign players, so they can sign some veteran players. We don't have this, but Sasha Klinchin actually played for the Menace this past weekend out of a really weird relationship that he ran into someone. So I think that's part of what the older players that played in this league before, that played in this competition, they enjoy what it means, and that because the soccer game is such a game of short margins, right? 1-0 red card, a bad goal given, you can sit a little bit deep and wait it out. Anything can happen. So these teams are good. They can all play. None of these are bad teams. But the excitement that you actually get to compete against someone of a higher league and get a chance to win, everyone that's waiting right now are just waiting for their chance.
It's a whole other type of March Madness, to be sure.
It really is.
All right, let's move on to the USL Championship, and we'll start with this past weekend's action in the scores around the league. And as we take a look at the scores, what jumps right out at you here, Mauricio, from week 3?
Well, the 4-0, we're always looking at a big result. If you look at the rest of the results, the 4-0 the Battery versus New Mexico, everything else is pretty leveled out. But Detroit City and Louisville and Hartford right there at the top, they're winning, right? They're almost, I think they're perfect at the moment. And then you got a couple teams that are getting their first wins. You got Ryzen in Phoenix, the championship, the champions, and Vegas getting their first wins of the season.
The thing that jumps out at me, no road winners. The best that the away teams did, a couple of the draws in there, 3 of them. That was it, though. So let's now look at the standings, starting in the West. And notice FC Tulsa, only 1 match played so far. They got a win out of it, so they're in great shape right now with 2 games at hand on the rest of the league ahead of them.
Yeah, and a couple surprises there for me. And you look at Colorado Springs; they did lose a lot of players, but 0 for 3, at the moment. Even El Paso, just 1 point in 4 games. About Tulsa only with 1 game, but El Paso with 4 games, they're only getting 1 point out of that. They become in a couple of weeks, those distances start becoming larger and larger and harder to recover. It's a long season, but I love to see Monterrey and Oakland and New Mexico kind of up in the upper echelon because they're always fighting in the middle of the league last year.
In the East, no surprise to see Louisville on top, but they're joined with both Hartford and Detroit. 6 points from 2 matches, the best you could possibly do. Charleston nipping on the heels after 3. And look at the bottom of the table. Who would have thought Pittsburgh, the Riverhounds, winless through their first 3 matches?
Yeah, and Tampa got 2 ties, so they got 2 results, if you would. Not the results that they would want. They got a new coach as well, so some new players. But definitely Pittsburgh is a big surprise here at the bottom. And now in Hartford and Detroit, probably not 2 teams that you would have expected early in the season to have gained 6 points out of 2 games. All
right, let's go to our match of the week, and that is Charleston Battery hosting New Mexico United. We showed you the score here just a moment ago. There's going to be some goals scored here, but we certainly want to take a look at the contrasting styles and how this really, you talk about horses for courses, this really set up well for Charleston to have a big day at home.
Yeah, and Battery have always been a really direct team last year. Direct is probably the wrong word, a very forward team, very vertical team. So when they go, and they rely on set pieces. And, the first goal kind of comes off of a long throw-in, Cole. And it's a long throw-in to one of the new signings, MD Myers. Gets a little flick on, and one of the players that was most consistent for them last year continues to get his goals.
Nick Markanich in the 17th minute, and Charleston took that lead to halftime. But there were some more opportunities for the Battery.
Yeah, and this is when I say when they get vertical, when they turn defense into offense really, really quick. And then one of the new signings, MD Myers, once again, you can see here, just a good high press. They get him into this little zone here to press, get an opportunity. They get look at the numbers they get around the box. Keeper makes a really good save. But this play here, MD Myers is going to get a lot of goals for Battery this year.
And here we go. Second half, one of the rare opportunities early after halftime for New Mexico United.
Yeah, and Harris is just a really fast player. He feeds one of his teammates. And like you said, one of the rare opportunities. They're going to get one more here off of a set piece. And same player, Harris, really well placed to keep it low, keep it on frame. But they can't get the goal in the half.
Opening 4 minutes of the half was really the best opportunities for New Mexico. Here is Arturo Rodriguez with the beauty of a goal for the Battery.
Yeah, and talent really unlocks the game. You're going to see here again, and see Malone, probably one of the best signings of the offseason, one of the leaders, joining from Memphis, a team that struggled, to a championship caliber team and really just picked it out. Really no chance for shakes here.
No, and then in the 90th minute, another one for Jackson Conway, who was able to play it very calmly off the rebound.
Yeah, I know this is the 4th goal, so the game's really a little bit out of control, but Conway here, what a calm finish. Torres, a beautiful finish, a beautiful strike off the post, but this is harder than it looks, Cole, to kind of the ball coming back at you, when you have to go in with your weak foot, open up your hips and just slide it through. Much harder. If this is the first goal of the game, wow, what a goal. But since the 4th goal, probably gets diminished a little bit.
Well, 4-0, a walk-away win for Charleston Battery as they get the shutout victory at home. Also this week in the USL Super League, another brand revealed, this time from North Carolina, the Carolina Ascent. They will be joining the USL Super League, women's league that launches in August. I like the color combination, offers a lot of opportunities here, and set against this particular background, the Carolina sky, going to be something. We haven't seen all of the brands revealed just yet, but we expect over the next couple of weeks we're going to see more and more of the first-year teams put their name and logo out there for us.
Yeah, we saw Fort Lauderdale a couple weeks ago with the kind of that bright green color, if you would, the aqua, and then now you have Carolina Ascent. I think everyone's kind of going with this bright. This looks like a sunset to me. If I'm in Carolina, it's kind of what I'm expecting. And they're representative of the region, of the Carolina regions, even though they're placed in Charlotte and they'll be playing in Charlotte. But what a beautiful logo, and I think you can do a lot of variants with this. Play with the colors and play with the jerseys, home and away. But I think they did a great job with this.
I like the subtle reflection of the sun in the river at the bottom of the crest there.
That's a great job.
All right, more about USL Super League, USL Championship, and all things soccer on the Sporting Pod. Tony Allegretti, Mauricio Ruiz, and I. This past episode, Tony and I discussed lessons he learned and the inspiration he found in his recent visit to Serie A side Fiorentina. Find the Sporting Pod anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Time now for our goal of the week. We leave you with Abdoulaye Diop with a banger for Detroit City FC. This one helped Detroit top Loudoun United 2-1 on a snowy day in Motown. Thanks so much for tuning in. For Mauricio Ruiz, I'm Cole Pepper. We'll talk to you next time on the Sporting JAX Report.